What's up? It's your man Rico. I know. I know. I'm not on this. I'm not on here enough, but I'm getting better. And I'm just checking out the news here. See what they got going on. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. What's up, y'all? It's your man Rico, and I'm back on here to give y'all a live, but I'm mainly on my YouTube channel because I know they've missed me quite a bit on my YouTube channel. And so that's why I've been putting up content over there. But I know I got folks over here who just absolutely refuse to come over to my YouTube channel. Y'all scared you'll get your feelings hurt, or you don't want to hear like my heavy opinions about stuff. Well, I guess what. Well, then sometimes when I look at the demographics on my Facebook page, I have a lot of older people on here, so you probably don't really fish around YouTube that much. Most of you are glued here on Facebook, so I'll try to put as much content as I can on this page, but you know is on YouTube and TikTok, and so I'm not on Instagram. I may get on Instagram sometime next year, but right now, yeah, just YouTube is my thing. And they got Twitch and all other stuff. TikTok and YouTube. Those are the places to be. But anyway, what's up, y'all? I'm back. Okay, those of you who've checked out the pictures on my page, I snuck home last week to spend Thanksgiving with my mom and my brother and my sisters and the family and everything. And it was pretty cool. I hadn't seen my mom since March of this year, so I was due for a visit, and it was cool. And every time I come home to my beloved Memphis, I always drive around the city to see what's new. And every time I come back, there's always something new going on. Something new is being built, and I think that's pretty cool. But I'm also, every time I come back, I realize that certain parts of the city, y'all know what I'm talking about, it's still, I don't think that the entire city is aware of the changes that have occurred and are continuing to happen all around the city of Memphis. A lot of cool stuff. And it's interesting that it has taken me to be gone for 18 years and counting from my hometown to see a lot of cool stuff. I always thought Memphis was pretty awesome when I lived there. I had a blast. And the only reason I left Memphis is because I just became frustrated. You're one of those persons that truly loves the community and you really love to fight. It's like it started affecting me. It started affecting my mental health. I started drinking a lot. And it just got to a place where, you know what, I'm not going to stay here and self-implode because the mentality there. And when I was home, anybody can tell you that if you saw the local news or you heard me on WDIA, I always called out the Negro preachers and the politicians and anything, and I also tried to big up as much as I possibly do and try to do as many community things for my beloved North Memphis, to the point that I started referring to myself, then others started referring to me as the mayor of North Memphis. That's how dedicated I was and still am to my beloved North Memphis. And more specifically, 38108. That's my zip code. And even though I left physically to save my own life, my own mental health, and to get a new perspective, I knew when I moved here to Dallas, I said when I moved here, I was not going to get involved in people's stuff in Dallas, and I haven't. And so far, so good. Dallas has some of the same stuff that's going on, meaning they have the same Negro preachers, they have the same lying-ass politicians, they have the same 60-year belief in Democrats they're going to save the day the way Jesus Christ is going to save the day. And whenever I come home, I see Black Memphis still has that same belief in the Democratic Party. And then I ride around North Memphis, my beloved North Memphis, particularly Hollywood, Springdale, Chelsea, New Chicago, Douglas, Hollywood and Jackson, where the Kentucky Fried Chicken is in the AutoZone. That part of North, you dig. And and go up and down Chelsea as it goes up into New Chicago and all around. But that's 38107. I'm a 38108 guy. I'm a 38108. Cypress Junior High. I'm a 38108. Hollywood Elementary, Springdale Elementary. I am a 38108 guy. That is North Memphis, and after 18 years, it's still the same desolate place. It had a little more energy when I lived in my hometown. And when I made it back this time for Thanksgiving, I got to see some folks in the neighborhood, took some pictures, and had conversations about Memphis today, Memphis yesterday, and what Memphis could look like. And same conversation we've had. And I continue to just shake my head because people don't seem to get it. The black sections of Dallas, meaning inside of Dallas, not DeSoto or Cedar Hill or Lancaster, the black suburbs, but inside of Dallas, they're going through the same nonsense. The same nonsense. The Negro preachers and these lying-ass black Democrats. And they look like, and they're shitholes, just like the black sections of Memphis. And so, and I made it a point not to get involved in their nonsense, because I know what it feels like to be disappointed and angry at your people. Sometimes I felt like, y'all know the story when Moses went off to talk to God for those 3 days to that burning bush. He left with jet black hair and a small beard. It was black, and his eyebrows were black, and his hair was no black, and his grits was black, and he came back 3 days later, came back with a long white beard and long locks, silver white. And when he came back, thinking he was going to get the good news from the Lord and bring it back to the people, he came back. The people were prostituting, they were gambling, they were whoremongering, they were same-sexing it up, LGBTing it up. They were pimping, and they were doing all kinds of disgusting things when they came back. And I'm going by the movie, they show every year, the Ten Commandments of Moses. But I just kind of take that as an example. It just gets frustrating. And he saw that. He said, well, damn, I went and talked to God and got all this knowledge. And I got some laws that we could follow that'll get us to the promised land if we just follow these laws. He said, you know what? We took those 2 carved out stones of the 10 Commandments. He said, you know what? All y'all can just start. Forget all y'all. Bloom. And that's how I felt. I was like, but damn, I'm trying to get these Negro politicians and these sorry ass preachers in my hometown when I lived there to get them, quote, together. And the people, the crowd, yeah, we need change. We want this. But then soon the Negro preachers and the sorry ass black politicians, I keep saying the black ones, they were mainly Democrat. Remember, we don't vote Republican, so y'all miss me with that. Well, what about the Republicans? Memphis is a heavily Democratic city and a heavily Democratic county. So we can't continue to say, what you think the Republicans going to do? We can't continue to do that when we vote primarily at 96% Democrat. And it's like the definition of insanity, continue doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. And so I got tired of it. I needed a rest. And Dallas was the perfect rest. Dallas is awesome. I've had a blast. I'm having a blast. I like it here. I'm 18 years. I love it here. It's cool. And other Memphians have smartened up and moved away and came out here, and they found the promised land here too. But whenever I come home, I say, Memphis pretty much has everything that Dallas has, except for that forward thinking mentality. They have a lot of people in Dallas, Fort Worth, with that that's just for white folks, and I ain't go over there. That closed mindedness, as if they don't belong all over the Metroplex, only in Oak Cliff. Only, I mean, not the gentrified part of Oak Cliff, but the new they don't they think they belong in I guess the historic Oak Cliff and not in the gentrified party and Pleasant Grove and and all this and just a mess. And Highland Hills and all the hoods, they think this was where they belong. And Memphis, too many of our folks in Memphis have that same mentality, and the politicians have that same mentality. Even though their children are eating good and go to private schools and great colleges, they still feed Black Memphis. They feed Memphis an overdose and a healthy dose of hood and ratchet. And so when I come home, I said, wow, look at all these new communities that are being built on South Main. Look at all these new communities that are being built around the Poplar area down by Pauline. You go further down, let's go downtown into South Main and all over there. And of course, Harbortown has always been Harbortown. And then Hollywood, close where the Liberty Bowl, South Hollywood, they built new apartments, a new apartment building, all kinds of new stuff all around the people. And my thing is, Black Memphis is not, I don't think Black Memphis is a part of that growth because the politicians have gotten out of control. And I've always been very sensitive about my district. City council, for the city council, my district has been District 7. And then when they create the super district, I'm under District 7. 3108 is under Super District 8. In which these days, J.B. Smiley and the county commissioner, I think is, what's her name? Henry Brooks. Hey, Miss Brooks, how you doing? And then school board, I don't know who that is because our little school board part gets switched around so much. And our state rep, I don't know, it used to be 98 under Ulysses Jones, but I think it's under Tony Antonio Two Chains, whatever that, I can't think of that damn dude's name. It's just, that guy. I think he's, because it used to be Ulysses Jones. I think it's District 98. I don't know. I have to look it up because stuff has changed. They changed the district and stuff. And so, county commissioners, I think it's Henry Brooks, and state rep, and the congressman still, all of us under Congressional District 9, it's been that same allegedly gay Jewish white man who's been just an impotent, inept congressman for the past 20 years. He's elected in 2006 when Harold Ford Jr. decided to run for a statewide office. I think he tried to run for senator. And the white folks in East Tennessee told Harold Ford Jr., yeah, you look like us, but you're not like us. And so when he was heavily defeated by Corker, I think it was Corker, Harold Ford Jr. let y'all know what he thought about Memphis. He moved away and started his life. He moved to New York, and now he works at Fox News and got him a white woman and has some 100-watt light bulb children, clear children. Something he's been wanting to do all the time. When I lived there, I tried to tell black folks, these mulattoes don't care about y'all like that. And I had a lot of issues with him when he was a congressman of my district. I had a lot of issues with a lot of the city councilmen that we had. We never ever had a decent city councilman. And I got to the point when I began to understand that District 7, North Memphis, 3108. Now, there's a white section of District 7, which is Harbortown and parts of Midtown. Now, those black city councilmen who represented North Memphis, they always made sure that the white section of District 7 they always made sure that they were taken care of, but they never ever came up to Hollywood and Springdale. They always stayed downtown because a lot of them lived in Harbortown around their white constituents. And there's some black folks live there too. I'm not ignorant. There's a lot of black folks who are doing really well that live in Harbortown and all that, but that's also part of District 7 and that Greenlaw, I think parts of that. But they never paid any attention to Hollywood, Springdale, Douglas, Hyde Park, and areas over there. If y'all ride through, just go down North Hollywood and just look at it. Here, when I went home this past, the damn Family Dollar was having a going out of business closing sale, and I went in there. The shelves were empty. I went and bought a couple of things, and I'm like, damn, I thought it was going out of business sale, but y'all still trying to sell stuff. And the guy was saying everything's gotta go, but y'all didn't have it priced like they wanted everything to go. So I didn't really buy much out of there. It still looks very desolate over there. And so, yeah, District 7 is, or that part of North Memphis 38108 has always been played with by Negro politicians. I can go all the way back. I remember before I moved away, we had to suffer through all these city councilmen. And I can go as far back as I can remember. I used to talk about all of them on the radio and on the news, and to people's chagrin. Used to get upset, but I believe in calling them out by name. But I realized when I left, nobody stood up or stepped up behind me to hold the politicians accountable. They've been running wild in my hometown, just doing and saying the most. And I know if I was still there, I'd be calling them by their names and let you know who they are. And they don't like that. You call these cowards out, they get mad, they get attitude. Yeah, but that's how you make them talk. They say, go to the city council meetings. Now I'll call them out on social media. Now you have social media. You didn't have social media like that 18 years ago, 19 years ago, 20 years ago when I was on their ass from 96 all the way up until I left in 2007. They have social media. I was just using strictly local news and WDIA. I did a little protesting around the city, you know. I was the only human being on the planet that protested R. Kelly in 2001. There were people who threatened me and kind of made fun because I was protesting someone who pissed on little girls. It was the weirdest thing. And so, and so when I went home, it just took me back. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? Is that you, Pootie Tang? Is that you, bro? What's up? And so, whenever I go home, I'm disappointed, and you know, I'm not going to say that there haven't been groups there who've been trying to stir up some things. But I've been paying attention to that, even though my body hasn't been in Memphis, but I've always been checking out things on the news. I got family and friends still there, keep me up on what's going on, and I always read, keep up with the local news of what's going on, and there are a lot of cool stuff that's happening in my hometown. But I don't like what has continuously happened in 38108. I don't like that, and nobody seems to care. Again, I've had to cuss city council persons all the way back to, and rest in peace, I'm sure she was a sweet lady, but she sucked as a politician. Her name was Barbara Swearingen Holt. She was awful. Then after her, who was after her? I think, let me see. After her, it was that terrible, what's his name? He's the Shelby County mayor now. He was the city councilman for District 7 for about a year. Then he went on to run for state rep. He did that for a couple of years. He did that for one term. Mark said, I wish you were here. I need help with all this corruption. Man, I'm about my mental health. Now, I know what you're saying. But, you know, the people don't care, Marcus. The black folks don't care. You know, and I'm not going to be there risking my mental health again like I did. I was just explaining earlier why I left Memphis in the first place. I'm not going to risk my mental health. You know, I'm doing all right now. It's pretty cool. You know? I'm all right. Yeah, I'm not going to risk my mental health, you know, fooling around. Lee Harris, sorry ass. That's right. Thank you, Marcus. Yeah, Lee Harris. He was there, and he skipped over. He did one term, I think, for state rep. And then he came back and became county mayor, ran for county mayor. And so after Barbara Swearingen Holt, Lee Harris, And then I think by the time Lee Harris got there, I had left. And then coming to find out, a real snake in the grass, Berlin Boyd, sorry, this you talking about a Negro, just a sorry, got in, got his payoff allegedly, and got on out. Then I think 4 years later, he had the nerve to try to run for another city council seat. The arrogance of it all. And then right now, in his last 3.5 years, you got this chick, Michaela Easter Thomas. District 7 ain't heard nothing from this lady. And they keep electing these sorry people, these awful people. And Hollywood looks like shit. Just ride down and go down Hollywood, Springdale, ride through Goodwill Village, go up and through Hurd, go through Devoy, go through Vandalia, go through all those streets in that part of the look like shit. But then you go down to Harbortown and all around the Pyramid, all that new construction, all of that. They don't pay attention to the black sections of their districts. If their district is all black, well, you know, they're not getting representation. So you keep wondering why these people keep running under this black thing. So now, everybody that's running for office now is all like, yeah, we're going to get Trump. We're going to defeat Trump. What the hell they got to do with you bringing in the resources? So that's what everybody, now you got the midterm elections coming up and nobody has a platform. Nobody has a campaign. They all saying, we're going to defeat Trump. Like Trump is our problem. Like Trump is our issue. And these same Democrats. So here in Dallas, the loose lace front loser, the cosplaying hood Keisha, Keisha Crockett, has decided to run for U.S. Senator out of Texas. Good luck with that. And so she didn't want to run in that black district. At first, she was going to try to run in her redrawn district, which is mainly Hispanic. She wanted to run in the Hispanic district. She wasn't going to run in the black district. When it was redrawn, they gave her more black voters, but she wanted the Hispanic district, according to rumor. And so she believes that, her hype in her district. And if y'all ever come to Dallas and see her district here in Dallas, a shithole. But y'all don't believe. Y'all think people attacking a black woman. No, we're telling y'all the truth. This woman is trash. She got in because an old woman, early Bernice Johnson, who had been there just like Barbara Cooper. Bless her heart. She's like the Barbara Cooper of Dallas. Barbara Cooper was precious, but the district that what's his name? Pearson. Justin Pearson holding a shithole in South Memphis. And now he has it and it's still a shithole. And Early Bernice Johnson's district, and she passed away, she willed it over. No, it's a mainly all black district. And so they had the stronghold, and so they just willed her on in there. She didn't really have to campaign, Jasmine Crockett, when she got that congressional seat. They kind of willed it. Also, Eddie Bernice Johnson was a member of Delta Sigma Theta. Jasmine Crockett is a member of Delta Sigma Theta. The judge that hugged the white woman that murdered the black man here in Dallas, Botham Jean, she's a member of Delta Sigma Theta. Y'all saying Lee Harris is a member of Alpha Phi Alpha or something like that. The mayor y'all got now is a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. Our district, my district, the District 7, Super District 8, J.B. Smiley, member of Kappa Alpha Psi. And then you have, and so it's basically all these black Greeks are switching offices, switching each other around to continue to give the black constituency a lot of speeches, but no tangibles. They got all they're going to do is tell you about Trump, and they're going to take our democracy. While y'all neighborhoods still look like shit, and they live in beautiful suburbs, and their kids go to private schools. Yeah, the one, these black folks y'all keep voting for. Yeah. And so I said, well, my hometown gonna keep doing it, continue the way it is. And it's interesting, I was recently hung up on, when I called home from here and mentioned these very things I'm saying to y'all, I was hung up on by, y'all know Stan Bill, I love Stan Bill. Been knowing him over 30 years, but he's a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. And so when I started naming his fraternity brothers and sorority sisters, how they suck as politicians, and I said, yeah, they suck. And Lee Harry, he suck. And J.B. Smiley suck. He said, we're not going to have that name call. And he hung up on me. And I said, wow. And I keep telling y'all, this is what these people are about. They're not about blackness. They're about Greek. But yeah, y'all not going to believe it because I said it. And I know Rico always talking about Rico hating on the Greeks. No, I'm not. I'm pro-black. The real pro-black. We're black before we're Greek. We're black before we're Christians. We're black way before we were gay. Way before anything. I'm that black dude. I'm a Malcolm X, Dr. John Henry Clark kind of black dude. A lot of you don't know who that is. Dr. Claude Anderson. I'm that kind of black dude. And so a lot of folks dip their toes in and out of blackness when it's convenient. I'm the real dude. I'm a real black dude. And so that's what's going on in Memphis. That's what's going on here in Dallas. Jasmine Crockett has moved on to citywide, but a member of Kappa Alpha Psi, who's also a very popular Negro preacher here, Freddie Haynes, has decided to run for her old seat. See, they don't do them play but Greek musical chairs. And that's all they do. And so the district's going to stay shitty even under him. Because all he got is quotes from Malcolm X. Y'all know how, isn't it funny how y'all have these preachers? Oh, Rico, they sound just like you. No, they don't. Because they would sound like me, they wouldn't have a congregation. He'd be telling the truth. They would try to lead them to Christ. See, sound like me doesn't make any money. So please. And, and I don't know him. I've never met him. I've heard him speak at a rally or something. I don't know, out and about in downtown Dallas. But, same old. That's all they do. They play political musical chairs on the ignorance of black folks. And so when I was home this past Thanksgiving, I met up with some friends and to the couple of folks that I missed. I promise you on my next visit, we're going to have lunch. We're going to go out and say hello. Because there's some folks in my hometown that I still try to say hello to whenever I make it home. But for the most part, I try to stay at home, stay at my mom's house and stay home with her and just hang out and talk and laugh and catch up. What I'm saying with my brother and my sisters, I just try to stay with them, other than just venturing out. But I do venture out and ride around and see the new restaurants that were open in my hometown. I said, okay, yeah, I'm gonna check this out next time I come. And again, meet up with some true blue friends that I still keep in contact, even since I've been out here the past 18 years. But folks who I haven't had contact with, who cares? Really, who cares? And so, I owe a couple of people a visit whenever I decide to come back home to visit my mom. And as well as my brothers and my sisters. And so I made sure I keep in mind, we're going to meet up. But anyway, and so I saw some cool stuff. I said, yeah, some cool stuff going on here in Memphis. Still very small-mindedness and little small things, because Memphis can operate like a Dallas. But there's still a community of people who still want Memphis to remain kind of small. Number two, they want the black sections of Memphis not to be involved in Memphis's growth. And that's alarming, and it's nerve-wracking, and it's upsetting. And the people there, just those who have a little something, they're just glad to hold what they got and just kind of continue to go along to get along. There are people who have microphones on radio. The radio station, they have microphones. They don't talk about the real stuff. They still don't. They didn't talk about when I lived in my hometown, and I've been gone 18 years, and they still don't. They still did because they got theirs, and it's unfortunate. And it's the same thing in the black sections of Dallas. The suburbs are doing great here, but the black sections, inside of Dallas, same old. They still waiting on Jesus. They still waiting on a Redeemer. They still waiting on his return. While they keep voting for Democrats. And so, just like in Dallas, they're playing musical chairs. All right, so uh, there's a congressional race coming up, and well, my district, no, District 9 is, hell, it's 460 some thousand black folks in there. And for 20 years, they've had a rumored to be gay Jew. Oh, now you're old bastard walking with a cane. And and y'all have to tell me, how does that happen? Y'all are both for a white Jewish man, Democrat, but you won't vote for a black or female Republican for an office. Isn't that something? Who cares? And all he cares about is Midtown, because Midtown is, it's always been known as the LGBT stronghold of Memphis. And yeah, I mean Midtown meaning Cooper Young and all over there. Yeah, everyone knows that, and it's fine. But yeah, that's always been the stronghold, the LGBT stronghold. And that's what he seems to be. I think he's homeless in over there in that part of Cooper Young. And so yeah, no one really gives a shit about black people and real black issues. All they want you to do is be mad at Trump. Trump causing, Trump is causing the country to fall apart. Trump is taking the country down. And I'm like, okay. Malcolm X told y'all about the fox and the wolf, right? The same people. All the difference is the liberals and the conservatives, or Democrats and Republicans, their approach is differently. But they can't stand you the same way. But one thing about the wolf is upfront about how he hates you. The fox grins in your face and then talks crap about the wolf. And they both have fangs. Isn't that something? And so yeah, hopefully next time when I go home and visit, I'll see some more new stuff, and enjoy some of the outdoor events I see here on social media that's happening in my hometown of Memphis. But yeah, the congressional race is popping off in District 9, which 38108, my beloved zip code, is still a part of, and I guess the political boy wonder, Justin Pearson, is running against that old decrepit old Jewish white guy. And I'm here to tell you, he's going to beat him. And it's pretty much going to be more of the same. Nothing new is going to happen for that district. Everybody that's a Democrat understands the assignment. The assignment is benign neglect. You never say or do anything on behalf of black people, Foundation of Black Americans. And Democrats, not only in Tennessee and Memphis, but across the country, they understand that. And they've been deflecting since the ass whooping they got in 24. He's attacking our democracy. We've been here 400 years. Our democracy is always under attack. Not just when Trump became president. I just shake my head. And then it's funny. I can't buy groceries. I can't afford anything. But these airports are filled with people flying to New Orleans, flying to Miami, flying to or driving to what's that damn part of Houston to get on a cruise. People are going to cruises every weekend. The clubs are filled. I said, y'all listen to yourself. I can't hide. The grocery bill is so high. And it now reminds me of, when I hear people talking like that. People pay for what they want, but they beg for what they need. And every time I hear them complain about food prices are so high. But you just bought a 2025. If you worry about the cost of stuff, you just bought a new pair of Jordans for $220. You worry about the cost of food, but you're still getting a new pair of Jordans every time the new pair comes out. You keep buying the new games to the PlayStation. That ain't gone up. So I don't pay. I'm telling you, I don't take people seriously. These people are hungry around here. How the hell are they hungry and they got parents? I know that sounds too simple, doesn't it? I don't get caught up in the nonsense. And so Justin Pearson is going to win because he has that, the old black lady church group behind him and all of that. But it's going to be more of the same. You're going to take his ass in Washington, D.C., and do like Jasmine Crockett does to make it seem like she's doing some work. Just talk shit to white folks. Cuss them out. But you don't get any benefit of that in your district. That's not what Dr. King did. That's not what, none of the civil rights lawyers of that day did. They talk shit and got some things done. These folks just talk shit just so they can get a giggle or something. And y'all saw what Justin did in the State House. It's going to be the same thing he did. And nobody benefited. I'm just telling y'all. Everybody pulled a black card. They know black people like to be the regular. No, they don't like to be the Malcolm X black or the Marcus Garvey black or the Minister Farrakhan black or the Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad black. They like being that, that bougie black. Well, you can talk stuff, but I don't want no smoke. They won't leave that for people like me. They want us to get locked up, or to get the people who will be on the streets, to get locked up and look at you when you messed up out here. But man, it's the way you do everything. Oh, really? Well, how come you didn't bring your ass out here and show me? So I don't take them seriously either. So Justin Pearson, just like any other Democrat, is trying to make his way up in the Democratic Party. And also, congressmen paid more. That's a bigger paycheck. And also, your bank account can go up from having $50,000 in it to $30 million over 4 years. Shout out to Ilhan Omar. Ilhan, what's her name? The Somalian congresswoman out of Minnesota. Went from $65,000 4 years ago, and now she has $30 million. Jasmine Crockett, when came in, was making like $65,000, $70,000 as a lawyer. Now she has about $9 million in her account. But her job only pays her like $180. It's being a congresswoman, something like that. Isn't that something? But then she talks that black stuff all day long. Justin Pearson Justin Pearson, one thing I can say to him, he doesn't talk about black folks. He talks about queers, trans, immigrants, illegal immigrants, and marginalized folks. He doesn't talk about black folks. But y'all can cheer when he beats that, yeah, Justin. And it's going to be business as usual. He can't do anything for black folks. That's not the Democratic way. They're there to sell you symbolism. Well, they've been great at that. And one thing about Democratic candidates is they're very articulate. They give the best speeches. They really inspire you to stick a fork in your own eye. I believe him. I know it. Hope shall come. I believe the fork there because my politician's going to pull the fork out of my eye for me. He is, as you go blind in both fucking eyes. But they're very articulate, intelligent. They have a script. And the script for the past 4 years or 8 years has been, we must defeat Trump. You can't defeat Trump. Trump is a goddamn tank. He's fortified. You can't. If you don't if you don't start doing some work, goddamn it, you ain't gonna be able to beat J.D. Vance either. Or Mark Rubio. So I'm just saying. See, I'm telling y'all. The Democratic Party, their vote is shrinking. That's why Biden opened up the gate and let all of those immigrants in, unvaxxed and unvexed. Mm-hmm. Then you have these silly blacks right here worried about what's going on with immigrants. And the videotapes will come out and all the Somalians talking about, I'm not black, I'm Somalian. And y'all don't believe it. No immigrants. Dr. John Henry Clark. Dr. Dewey, what's up, man? Chris Armour, what's good, brother? Robert Lee, what's happening? Dewey, I'm sorry. What was I about to say? I'm talking about the damn immigrants. Oh, Dr. John Henry Clark told us in the 1950s or 60s, black people, we have no friends. And to quote a lot of black women, I want to use the word they love to use. We have no allies. We have no allies. They didn't get mad at white folks until the 24 election. All of a sudden, yeah, we finna sit this out and protect our peace. All they worried about is themselves. Protect your peace. Get out of here. You're talking about the Pocahontas of our race. Unfortunately, black women have been the way you said, not a friend on this planet. Unfortunately, black women have served as the Pocahontas of our race. If y'all know the story of Pocahontas, when they told her not to fool with John Smith, don't let that white man in this village, and she's like, no, y'all don't know him. And she stopped messing around with John Smith, and he pretended, I like you and your people. Man, I'm cool. No, my other folks be tripping, but I like you and your Indian family. I know you do, John Smith, because I like you and your blonde hair and your blue eyes, because I trust your pale skin. You won't hurt us. You ain't going to hurt us, John. I know, Pocahontas, because I love you and your brown skin. And girl, you too beautiful. Come on in. And she let him on in there, and next thing you know, as soon as she opened up the fence and the tent to her village, he said, "Oh yeah, baby, yeah, I'm right behind you. Go ahead and lead the way." He turned around and said, "Ree," and them folk came in with them cannons and them pistols, and man, took everybody's ass out. And that's the black female voting base for the black race. They've gotten to us by way of her, massaging her ego, massaging and encouraging her arrogance, or whatever minor disappointments. And so here we are today. They fund them so much so that black women in our race have politically and economically separated themselves as a separate group from the black race, from the men and the boys. Rico, what do you mean by that? Did y'all see when Ice Cube went on that show with Lisa Ray and Selena Johnson and the others on there, on that Queens and Cocktails, on that dumbass, that awful Vivica Fox, and that mulatto has-been chick, and he said, yeah, this is a contract with Black America, and those women said, well, what do you have in there for black women? And he asked these dumb broads, hey Kendra, he asked these dumb broads, aren't black women black people too? But no, black people need a separate set of rules. I told y'all, I was done. I've been done. But a lot of y'all don't understand that there's a huge segment of black women don't think they're part of the black race anymore. And they're out there looking stupid. And so they were really upset. They were upset with everybody. They started attacking Hispanics. They started attacking black men more. They started attacking immigrants. They started attacking everybody who voted for Trump. Like they had the authority to attack people because they decided not to vote for a lying-ass cosplaying black chick who tried to lie that she was black and she was South Indian Asian, married to a white man with 4 Jewish kids. And they were really mad at us. And they could tell us what the fuck to do. It was crazy. So here we are today. Well, we just gonna keep our peace. We gonna protect our peace. Like y'all mattered. Get out of here. It's insane. And so here we are. This midterm, I hope the Democrats don't win. Because we still haven't gotten a clue yet about how to play this thing. African Americans in this country are so politically immature. Dr. Claude Anderson gave the perfect definition of what race means. Race is actually a race among groups, a race for resources. Who can gather the most money, land, politics, control the education. And we're behind in all of those. We're at the bottom in all of those. We're number one in incarceration, number one in criminal justice statistics, number one in women in abortions, number one in all the nonsense. But other groups have gathered resources even off the backs of blacks, foundational black Americans. And there's some people who hate when we say foundational black Americans. Why y'all delineating? We Pan-African, no. Every group calls their group. When they win something, Puerto Rico, I'm Nigerian, I'm not black, I'm Dominican, I'm this, and so we finally understood what being ADOS, American Descendants of Slaves, or FBA, Foundation of Black Americans, what that means politically and economically and educationally as well as socially. We act so childish, and so we are still fighting each other when everybody else is fighting each other to get a piece of us. They're not fighting at war with other ethnic groups, are not at war with each other, but they're fighting over each other, fighting and knocking each other down to get to us. And we don't even understand that. And the people who y'all keep electing or pushing forward as your leaders, they keep making the ass out you. Yeah, again, they're very articulate. They pull pieces of black history to use. But they don't talk like Malcolm. They don't talk like Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. They don't talk like Dr. Frances Cress. The black women who run for political offices, that are Democrat, they don't talk like Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. They don't talk like Dr. Julia Hare. They don't talk like Sister Ida B. Wells Barnett. They don't talk like Fannie Lou Hamer. They don't. You know why they don't talk like these women? Because these women that I named, these black women, they loved, respected, and adored black men. All these political women that's Democrat, they couldn't give two fucks about the survival or the breathing of black men. I'll debate any Democratic woman you put in my face, but not for free. That's why I don't vote for Democratic women. Liberal, I don't vote for Democratic men either, but I certainly don't vote for Democratic women. Because all you have to do is listen to them. Listen to my hometown of Tennessee. Listen to your state senators that's female. Listen to your state representative that's female. Listen to your local city council women or city councilman that's female. They never mention anything about men. When they're campaigning, they never mention anything about the progress, the economic or the political progress of boys and men. But these Negro males that's Democrat, when they run, they don't even mention men either. They talk about women and children. Y'all ask me how I became a damn independent. Yeah, I'm an independent. And so, no, listen to these women. They always want to run for something. And then you had that retarded ass Michelle Obama. Talking about some, America, when they ask her if she's ever going to run for president. Well, no, America's not ready for a woman. Sure we are. We are. I vote for a woman, but not you, Michelle. I vote for Tulsi Gabbard. I vote for Omarosa, and she ran. I vote for women with husbands, and they respect their husbands. They have their children in wedlock. I ain't vote for no baby mamas, no side chicks. They have a different attitude than women who have husbands and sons. And not all baby mamas think like these political bras, so don't give me the line and think I'm talking about every woman that's a single mother think like a Democratic liberal broad. I'm talking about those who decide to run. They always running their ass up front to try to run. And then when they get elected, fellas, all they do is talk about what they want to do for women, LGBT, illegal immigrants, trans, as if men don't vote for you. And men, come to this. Come right here. Fellas, I want to talk to straight men, heterosexual, masculine men. I know this video is going long. I want to ask you something. Men who don't have sex with other men, men who like women, men who are married to women, heterosexual men, masculine men. Why y'all keep voting Democrat? Why y'all keep voting for Democratic women? Y'all hear their speeches, they'll never talk about what they're going to do for you. All they keep doing is pushing women's stuff. But they win because of your votes. Negro males voted at, the women voted at 92% and the men voted at 78 to 80% for Kamala Harris. And they still talk shit. Why y'all keep voting? Let the gay dudes and the black Greeks who are Democrats. Because do y'all know there's a lot of black fraternity guys who are not Democrats? I know I talk about the Greeks, and they know what I'm talking about. But there are a lot of Divine Nine who are not members of the Democratic Party. I should do a separate video about that because I want to talk to y'all. Those of you who are in a fraternity or sorority and you're black, are you allowed to be a Republican out loud with your fraternity? And if so, how do they treat you? Because it's a given that, y'all is almost required that y'all must vote Democrat. So for those of you who are, all right, this video is going long, but I'm going to do another video. I'm going to ask, how many of y'all that's part of a black Greek-led organization, how many of you are not Republicans, who are not Democrats? I want to know how many of you actually voted for President Trump. And if so, are you a out and proud Republican and a person who voted for President Trump while you're in your fraternity or sorority? And if so, how did your chapter or the Divine Nine itself, how did they treat you? Or do they know that you are? Do you hang out with them? Do they invite you to the cookout, the Greek picnic? I want to know. Because I know all of you are not. I know when I share the history of how, the Greeks and gays and Greeks and preachers were pretty much the main leaders of this failed civil rights movement. I know all of y'all not with that shit. I know all of you, I know a whole lot of you are not homosexuals and not down with all that nonsense. I know. A lot of you are really cool people who are really down for blackness. You just happen to be a part of the organization. But y'all do know there's a lot of y'all and y'all brothers and sisters who are just straight Greek, and the rest of us are peasants to them. And I can talk more about that. Yeah, they don't deal with nothing. They don't give a damn about nothing that's going on in the black community unless a fraternity or sorority sister is affected by it. I can give evidence of that if y'all ever want me to. Again, to straight black men who don't have sex with other men. Why do y'all keep voting Democrat? And why y'all keep voting for women? Liberal women. Why? They don't ever have a plan or a program or anything in their speech. Anything in their speech they ever talk to you. All they want for you. It's like, and it's really gotten that bad. Women today, all they want from men is sperm and your vote and your money. They don't want you. And so y'all I want to talk to you men who are heterosexual masculine men who don't have sex with other men in public or on the low. You don't. You would believe to be a heterosexual masculine man. Why do you continue to vote for Democrats? And why do you continue to vote for Democratic women? Because every time I hear a speech from them, they never talk about what they're going to do to improve the lives of black boys, of black men. But every time a black man is running for something, and we're going to make sure we take care of the women and take care of the children. How come? I got a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, shucks. I got a minute or two if anybody want to come up and talk. I've said a lot. But I started off by saying I love my hometown of Memphis. I do. And especially North Memphis. I have a lot of memories there. As old folks say, my roots in Memphis. I didn't really plant any seeds here in the 18 years I've been here in Dallas. It's cool. It is. I love Dallas-Fort Worth. It is awesome. But the black sections do want to do the same thing in my hometown. Just like a lot of black sections of major cities across this country. Shitholes. And so, but when I was home, I did notice the National Guard. No, not the National Guard, but the task force was pulling people over. Because I was trying to get to some of my friends' houses that night, going through Fraser. And where else I see him at? I saw him on South Memphis, heading to a spot downtown. Yeah, I saw the task force. It was cool. It was pretty quiet in the city those 4 days I was home. And I liked it. So I can't wait for the weather to warm to participate in a lot of outdoor activities there. Yeah, there's a lot of things. I have a lot of ideas that could really bring Memphis to the forefront. There's a lot of people who have to be removed. And I can talk to y'all again about that. Let's see. Yeah, I can talk to y'all about that, but I'm not going to hold y'all all night. Hey, Stacy. What's up? But anyway, it's your man Rico. The PayPal and Cash App are always active. Good to see y'all. And I'll come back again, talk some more Memphis stuff, worldwide stuff. But all my national stuff I'm gonna have on my YouTube channel. Y'all want to hear what I'm talking about on my YouTube channel? Come on over, Rico the Opinionist, RICOTHEOPINIONIST. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.